Let's go. Am I going?
Do you want to do it?
No, I don't. I don't have the panache.
Isn't that? Oh, that's a ganache. What's the difference between a panache and a ganache?
Well, a ganache, I think, is like a delicious sugary filling, isn't it?
Yeah,
for a treat. And panache is what I have.
a delicious sugary filling.
It's a delicious. Yeah, I'm a delicious sugary treat.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to Short Fuse. I'm Duncan Roberts, and I'm here with Oliver O'Donoghue. Say
hello.
Hi. We've done it again.
Well, I went too soon.
Well, I also paused. Millennial paused. Say hi.
I think that's right. I might say it twice.
Are we? Can we stop talking?
I can't do it twice.
Can we stop talking at the same time? We're supposed to have rap. Oh. We're supposed to have
chit chat. That's part of the fun.
We're supposed to have rapport and chemistry, knowing when each other is going to talk and bouncing off each other, not just talking over each other like idiots.
Yeah, well, that's for the production team to worry about, which is you,
which is me. Yeah, gosh,
I don't have to worry about that. I'm the on-air talent, mate. I don't have to worry about this.
I'll just leave it in and see what people think. It'll be fine.
Yeah.
All right. You've said hello. I've said who we are. We're going to do a vote on a particular subject and talk about it, and then re-vote on it. Right. Today we're going to talk about reviews. It might seem a bit boring, but actually quite important, I think. We're going to talk about the whole review culture, online reviews, in-person reviews, word-of-mouth reviews, that kind of stuff. And what the impact of technology is on that, and whether we think that there's a future in it or not. Ollie, long or short, reviews?
A huge, resounding, massive long from me. I think it'll be incredibly important in the future.
Yeah, same. I have to say we're the same. So let's talk about it and see if we change our minds, or if why we're long, and if there's any shortness in there at all. So let's kind of hone in a little bit. Let's talk about online reviews. Why do you think they're so important? Why are you so resoundingly long?
I am magnificently long for. I'm structurally long,
Stop.
which is true. I'm 6'4".
Yeah, but Ollie, come on, we're not having this innuendo going on all day.
Aren't we?
Why? Why are you long? Tell me why you're long.
Well, here's why, Duncan.
Right.
Here's why I'm long. AI, as we know it, will be incredibly important. AI is going to need something to mine. It's going to need something to go to make a decision. So when Duncan says, "Hey, I would like to buy the latest Ferrari cap, but I'm only willing to spend £20."
I like the way you just put cap, because you know that he can actually afford a Ferrari.
Yeah.
Ferrari
Duncan would like
toy.
Yeah, well, exactly. Duncan would like to buy the latest Ferrari from, what is it called? Hot Machine?
Hot Wheels.
Hot
Machine, like something else entirely. Gosh, innuendo central.
Back to innuendo. I told you we weren't giving up on it.
Yeah.
But that'll need something to mine, right? And I think one of those sources will be reviews. Why not? So some of it'll get from the website. It'll go to different hat manufacturers to find the hat of your choice, but it'll also go to the reviews that may be hosted on their website or maybe on an impartial site. And I think where it gets particularly interesting is in industries where you're not really allowed to advertise yourself. So a lot of life sciences industries, some restricted products like tobacco, e-cigarettes, that type of thing, where you're not really allowed to advertise. Where AI will naturally have to go to find information on which is the best e-cigarette flavor or which drug solves a particular health issue without side effects will be review sites and forums, peer-to-peer forums. So I think that'll be a massive part. And we talk about it a lot, Duncan. Like what will be left of the internet, and because search will be distorted,
and that could really screw people at the same time, right? So if you've got, say, an AI agent that is trying to find a restaurant for you, and it knows that you're gluten intolerant, and And this restaurant is like a great gluten-free restaurant, but on some obscure Reddit thread or a review site, somebody has said, "Oh, I ate here and I got the runs for days. It's rubbish." Then the guardrails around that AI agent and the safety protocols that means I absolutely cannot be liable for recommending a restaurant and giving them my user the runs because they've ate a little bit of gluten. I'm just not going to recommend this restaurant ever at all. And it's completely out the bounds of the control of that restaurant because it's either a bot review or it's somebody who went to that restaurant, but also later on went somewhere and had a dodgy kebab after going to the pub, and it was that fault, not the restaurant's. But that's and then you're done as a business.
Yeah, that's the part that's most interesting because that could already scupper you.
Yeah.
So you as a human could go, on Google reviews is integrated into it. So you'll see like full star. Oh my god. Bowel related challenges amongst more than 50% of its patrons. I'll pass on that one, thanks.
But it's
or you might use your own judgment to be like, oh, I'm sure I'll be fine. Or let me have a look at their menu. Oh, I just wouldn't eat this thing, which is probably the problem. AI may not do that. But to your point, so AI might go like, well, I'm not going to anything that's 4 stars or less. I'm not going to touch.
But it's the obscurity of it, right? Like, so it's the inaccessibility of that content. If I'm just looking on Google or getting a recommendation from a friend, I would have to then sit down and actively do some work to find that Reddit thread or to find that review and go, oh, maybe I should think twice about this. Whereas the AI agent, it doesn't need to do that. That's part of its job. It does that instantaneously, and it takes that into account when it's providing you that recommendation, and then just doesn't give you even the visibility of that restaurant to make that decision. It just goes, I can't be sure, therefore put it to the side. Yeah. So you are, in our Gen Z vernacular, cooked as a business.
Yeah. Because it'll be puritanically focused on an outcome, depending on what you describe. So, like the important one there was gluten intolerance. So its risk profile will be different. Whereas I say, I just want a pizza. Presumably, it would be less. It'll be like, well, actually, this pizza's the has the highest rating, but isn't open. This pizza restaurant is open if you want the pizza now, so you could go there today. It'll give you. I think the agents will be smart enough that they can give you choice, or at least present it in choice. The bit that is really tough is like, how do you make sure you're in the list, right? You're as a brand, as that pizza company, you're trying to anticipate a conversation that you're not a part of.
Yeah.
It's the same. I mean, we when we talk, we've used the analogy of cereal manufacturers. So back when cereal was just plain old cereal and adults used to eat it before this giant big boom in children focused cereal. No, you presumably you don't eat Cocoa Pops and Lucky Charms.
I'll speak for yourself.
Your slim figure, Duncan, is like you don't overindulge on Lucky Charms, and I know how health conscious you are, so it seems really unlikely to me. But in any case, cereal manufacturers started targeting children, right? That was just a massive market, hugely profitable because smaller packets, loads more additives, delicious and
toys, toys in the box.
Well, toys is a great example because what they had to try and think of is what will the conversation between the child and the parent look like? Because right now, the brand is having a conversation with the parent, like, buy my cereal and here's why it's got the most fiber.
Keep your children quiet.
Yeah, but now they're trying to talk to the kids and understand what the kids are saying. Like, Daddy Duncan, which I imagine is what your children call you. I really want the Lucky Charms ones because they're colourful.
Yeah.
Or I really want the Cocoa Pops because they make the milk turn chocolate. Or I want this one because it's got a better toy. So they're catering to a conversation that they're not part of, and that'll be the same now. It'll just be you and your agent instead of you and your child.
Yeah, yeah, and I think that the review, going back to the reviews thing, having that conversation with other people who've engaged with that business or that product to then pass on that information to your user. How do you know that review is valid, right? How do you know that it's not a bot review in itself? There's this whole kind of industry around creating reviews buying reviews or having, there's that whole thing where people have received like a packet of seeds in the post. Have you seen this? People randomly receive a packet of seeds in the post. And the reason they do is because some sellers are sending out random packets of whatever to customers that they don't know. It's an address that they've bought from some data set somewhere, so that they can say that a review is a verified purchase and that they've actually shipped something to a user for a product, and then they put a 5-star review on their product and they can say it's a verified purchase. Have you seen that?
How does that work then? So these are edible seeds, are they? Or are they?
They're just a random packet
seed?
Of something. Like,
it's a no value item.
Yeah, exactly.
So they can say, we shipped to this address.
Exactly. And then they can attach that shipping process to a review to say that it's a verified purchase. As I understand,
that's crazy, isn't it?
Yeah,
that's crazy.
You see it on Reddit thread. I talk about Reddit a lot, but I browse Reddit a lot because I'm a nerd. But it'll be somebody posting a thing on what's going on, or the weird subreddit going, I've received this packet of seeds in the post. What's going on? I've never bought a packet of seeds. And then all the replies are like, this is a review scam to show that something's a verified purchase.
It's quite ingenious, really, isn't it? Because what they've done is figured out, hey, here is the minimum level of evidence that the review site will consider as authorizing a purchase, and then they've just worked their way around it. I mean, that's pretty clever. And presumably that safeguard was put in place because before that, and we know it's made famous in the Silicon Valley episode, really good Silicon Valley episode, was where they just had farms of people, because the original point of verification was device, an IP address. So it didn't matter if you'd actually bought it, but you could only give one review from that device. So there'll be entire factories of just loads and loads of devices giving 5-star reviews to applications and products and stuff like that in exchange for money.
How often do you leave a review?
Oh God. So I used to only leave bad reviews in the typical kind of angry capital letters, like avoid.
Yeah.
These guys have. I've been mindly inconvenienced by these guys, and then I had a moment where I thought, like, oh, I just don't care enough about this, and I deleted all the bad reviews. Now I only leave 5-star reviews when someone's been really good.
See, that's the thing, isn't it? Like, there will be, most reviews online, especially, are going to be either this is absolutely amazing or it's absolutely terrible. There's very little nuance to kind of user-sourced reviews, because people who are just kind of okay with it, they got what they wanted, who's going to go back and take the time to leave a review? Which is why you get those emails going, please review us, which I just ignore. So it's how accurate that kind of data set is on products is up for debate, really.
But it shows you how important it is already, right? Before, without agents using it as part of their decision-making criteria when they recommend what hat manufacturer you're going to go towards, it's already important to the point where the subsequent, because it's true, anytime I buy something, I don't get an email saying like, oh, please buy some more.
Yeah.
Because we need to make money. We're a business. It is, can you review us?
Yeah.
So presumably that's more important than saying like, oh, you liked this product. We also sell a range of other products and you should buy one of these too, which would be a natural thing to do to a customer. Instead, now it is, please review us, because actually if we have bad reviews or our number is below 4, we're in serious trouble.
Yeah.
You also have the because there are so many reviews, I don't often scrutinize reviews for the exact reason that you've mentioned. Like, most 4-star products are mainly people going like, yeah, this is fine. It did exactly what it said on the tin. I'm more or less happy with it. And 4 stars seems passive aggressive, so I'm going to give it 5 stars. And then just like 5 or 6 1-stars that's just like, I hate the guy who runs this company.
Yeah.
Or a lot of times on Google, if it's for a trade, it's like, this person cut me up at the traffic lights.
yeah.
I saw that to do with their ability.
I saw one exactly like that. I was looking at I was intrigued because there was a motor racing team that's based down the road from me who races at Le Mans, and just doing some spying on them. And they had one review and it was 1 star. I don't know why you'd review a motor racing team anyway on Google, but it was 1 star saying that the truck cut them up at the traffic lights. So,
right. It's really common.
Yeah.
It's really common. I would have been so much funny given the nature of their business if it was like, these guys drive too fast.
yeah.
Make awful noise.
Yeah, exactly what we should be doing. But I mean, when I look at reviews, I always go to the worst ones first, go to the bad ones to see what the problems are. And most of the time it's, user error. And you need to discern that, and whether AI agents are going to be able to discern that, or whether they will just look at it very much in a kind of, an automation capacity, go, well, this has more 1-star reviews than it does 5, therefore ignore.
Well, something really interesting happens that gives us an idea of how it works right now. I presume, and you know AI, much better than I do, and I presume it'll get better, and over time, some of these things will be tweaked. But because there are so many reviews on Amazon, and it's the same with a lot of sites, right? There are thousands of reviews. They know most people aren't going to scroll down. They'll do what you do, which is catastrophize. Like, what's the worst that can happen? What's the 1 star? Like, is it going to set fire to my house? No. Okay, well, I'll risk it then. And there'll be people like me who just don't care. So now they summarize the 1,000 views in a short paragraph. And what's interesting there is that it is handy. It's very consumable.
It's actually I've found it to be very useful. That, like, what do people think about this product?
Yeah. But it's deeply problematic, because clearly engineered into it is the need for balance. So what it does is it goes, people really liked this, and this, but some people didn't like this part. And then what I did in a little personal research, in fact, not for this, it's just come in handy because it's fallen out of my brain, is I went through and I just on a piece of paper, I calculated how many 5-star reviews, how many 1-star reviews, and whether or not it seemed like the 1-star reviews were overrepresented, and to what extent. And they're massively overrepresented, because there'll be, let's say, 1,000 reviews saying like, oh, it's comfortable, it's the perfect size, it looks good, the color's great, whatever. And because of the need for brevity, 2 or 3 of those things will be mentioned. And then there'll be 1-star review, which is just like, oh, felt a bit small. And that one, even though it's less than 1%, it's mentioned in the blurb. It's mentioned in the blurb because it's the only negative. So that kind of need for balance in the algorithm is a problem, because it's overrepresenting the bad stuff, right? And we've talked about this a little bit, where what is it, the sycophancy challenge with GPT, because there is. If everything in that paragraph was positive, you probably wouldn't pay attention to it. Is the upshot, right? You'd look at that and be like, oh, typical marketing ploy, trying to, just touting the good stuff. So they have to have a bad thing, otherwise you wouldn't believe it, which is worse than overrepresenting the bad thing. So you have this huge kind of psychological, technology meets psychology challenge, which means you're going to get worse outcomes potentially.
Well, imagine if the point there is that you still are presenting that information to a human being to kind of read that blurb, see that, and then go, okay, I'm going to make a decision to then override that bad review and still purchase. Amazon have also done a thing recently. I don't know if it's recent. I've only noticed it recently, where if you click on a product, it says often returned. I don't know if you've seen that.
I have seen that, and it stopped me buying stuff. Same. It stopped me in my tracks. I was like, oh gosh. Goes to something else. Go to Amazon, being Amazon as it is at the moment. Go and buy the exact same product with a different brand on it. It's just the same. That hasn't sold any, and therefore has had none.
It's just the same generic thing with different branding on it. But my point is that you still have that human oversight. At some point, and I think human oversight will exist for a long time, but at some point, the way in which you get recommendations and the way that you look at products to make a decision will take those reviews into account, and you won't even have human oversight to override that review. It will go, oh, look, there's a 1-star in there. I've got to give some balance. I'm in the scheme of things, in the thousands of different products that I could recommend, I'm only going to give them 4. Chuck out all these ones, and it's because they've got a few 1-star reviews where they might not deserve it. So that, and then you don't have that human oversight, that nuance to kind of make that decision. So I think that will play a massive part. The crowdsourcing of information about products and services will play a massive part in how our agentic future kind of takes shape.
I think our relationship with AI will evolve and will be a really interesting thing. God, it sounds like it was created by ChatGPT, doesn't it? In the era of generative AI, our relationship will evolve.
In the ever-evolving landscape of generative AI and reviews,
exactly,
and podcasts.
Exactly. I think it'll evolve over time, and we'll wheedle out some of that stuff. So let's say generative AI, and I think it'll give you some of that information. You might say like, "Hey, I want to buy a new form of toothpaste. You know, I want my teeth to be whiter, right?" For example, and it'll say like, "Well, here are the top 5, and I've picked these 5 for the following reason."
Yeah,
and you'll decide whether or not you want that information. So a lot, and given it's £1 for toothpaste, we can probably assume that like, oh, this is frequently returned just wouldn't matter to you for most people. They just go, oh, it's only £1. Let's give it a go.
Yeah.
But that information would massively impact your buying of a car or, an expensive branded T-shirt or something like that, where you might say, hey, I want this Ferrari cap. Okay, well, they're £50 for a Ferrari hat, and these are the 3 best places. I think that would just be the start of your querying discovery journey with AI, where you say like, okay, well, tell me a little bit more about that one. What's the average shipping time? So I think you would still be presented that information, but it'd just be in a slightly different interface. Where the challenge arises is the baseline data. So the frequently returned thing, it has stopped me buying stuff. But what's interesting about that is just the absolute lack of context over what frequently means.
Yeah. Or just like what does? Well, I'm actually repeating your point. Like how many have been sold? Like what's the proportion?
What's the percentage? Why were they returned?
Yeah.
Is it the wrong size? Like that's really interesting information. Hey, these are frequently returned, and usually it's because people have ordered a medium, then reorder a large, and are happy with it.
Yeah,
great. That's going to help my agent find me the shirt that fits.
Yeah,
right. It's absolutely perfect. So if that agent has to work off information like that and just immediately goes like, oh, frequently returned, oh no, which is what we're doing as humans, right? And we also do the thing where again in Amazon or other shops, I almost always tick just 4 stars. In the thing, I just want 4 stars. And I just want Prime because I'm a greedy consumer. I want it immediately. So I have to have Prime. So I get a chunk of the marketplace out of the picture already. AI will almost certainly do the same. If I say I want it tomorrow, and it better be good. So I think that how that baseline data features in to something that will take a second to make a decision rather than the kind of lackadaisical browsing activity that humans tend to do. It can take hours before you make a decision. And AI's going to go.
And there's like you mentioned about it being like how frequently is frequently. One thing I do when I'm looking at stuff is something that has 4 reviews that are all 5 stars versus 1,000 reviews that are 4.3. What's the decision threshold there? Like, I'd probably go with 1,000 reviews, but it might only be 4 reviews because it's only just been released. You just don't know that. There's so much nuance behind these things that humans will take into account when they're browsing sometimes. Agents may not, or are we going to build that in?
But I think that'll be built into because the other part of the conversation is right now they ask us for reviews. Right, so that email comes to you and says, Duncan, can you click this link and do that review for you? It might be that part of the conversation, agent to agent, is the vendor agent saying to your agent, can you ask him how it was, whether that hat fit, was it good? And it's so much less burdensome. You imagine that popping up like, Duncan, how was that hat? Then you reply in normal, like, oh, it's great. Yeah, it's fine, thanks.
Yeah.
Out of 5, how would you rate that hat? You may not even need to be as crude as 5-star ratings now.
It's all right.
Because AI can churn through contextual data at a rate that we can't. We need the 5-star ratings because we are too lazy, understandably, to go through the verbose rants of the 1-star reviewers. This toothpaste tube was nowhere near the shape I wanted. I love it. Look, we've just done the LinkedIn one, the toxic LinkedIn. Some of the Amazon reviews are amazing. There's some genius ones. I mean, when Bic released its pen for women, the pink pen for women, easily some of the best satirical work ever. Like it would make Armando Iannucci go like, "Oh my god, there are some geniuses out there." Like it's absolutely fantastic.
Yeah, and sometimes some of the 1-star reviews, if you get a response from the owner, the beef that kicks off there is sometimes quite enjoyable as well.
One of my local pubs, this owner of the local pub was problematic in their own right, but would often get bad reviews as a result, and would always take the time to rant back. She would really go to town on like, wow, it's a shame that I've never seen ugly people as ugly as you, and maybe that's your problem, really. And you honestly, you just scroll through. We as a family would send each other the latest ones. We're like, oh my god.
Then there's a part of you that makes you want to go to that place to experience the owner. So that becomes a cultural kind of like experience in and of itself.
Yeah, genuinely true. Yeah, test the theory. Like, is the owner as bad as this?
Yeah, I want to meet this person.
Yeah, there's one up the road. Not to keep to it. There's one up the road that all of the reviews, all the 1-star reviews, are because people have the audacity to ask for a hot drink. just got both barrels from the traditional landlord. That's just like, you can have beer or cider.
Well, personally, I quite like a pub like that. I like a pub that doesn't serve food. I remember being in one. It was the Cockpit near St Paul's Cathedral, and they said, as some tourists walked in, they said, "Do you serve food?" I don't know what that accent was, but the barman was just like, oh, I've got crisps. And I was like, well, I'm in the right pub for me.
Yeah. There's the classic, I think it's from comedy series Men Behaving Badly, where someone asks for a shandy and he says, no, we don't do cocktails.
Yeah. Very good. All right. So we are both long on reviews, but not reviews necessarily as they stand at the moment, and not for the reasons that it would necessarily be humans interrogating those reviews, but maybe AI. And I really like that idea that actually reviews might take a different form, and it could be more verbose because AI can interrogate that in ways that humans can't going forward. But yeah, like there's also another aspect of that, which is if you have a connected product. So I mean, less for clothing and food and stuff like that, but if you buy a fridge or you buy something that is connected and has its own kind of way of transmitting data to an AI agent, then the human reviewing that product is less important because they can actually transmit, like, this is the failure rate, this is how much they're using it,
right?
This is the satisfaction, maybe not, but like basic low-level data on how often it's being used, how often it's failed, that kind of stuff just gets done automatically.
Yeah, because you can imagine, like you say, part of it is the average user has one for 5 years, which is seen as a good sign.
Yeah.
It costs this much to maintain it. It's serviced annually, which comes at this cost.
Yeah.
And the default response from a lot of people listening to this would be like, well, why would a manufacturer give that information? Well, the good ones will.
Yeah. So
the absence of it will make you suspicious, and will certainly make AI go, well, look, I'm only really going to go for the ones that give me this data.
Yeah.
So it becomes a much more powerful thing. So yeah, I mean, automated kind of semi AI conscious reviews. Now we're talking about.
Yeah,
we've gone so much from our Yelp days.
Yeah,
we've moved on.
We started off with funny 1-star reviews and moved all the way to automated self-reviewing technology.
Yeah,
there we go.
Span of human ingenuity.
What a world we live in. Anyway, okay, right. Well, that's short and sweet. Both long. No controversy there, just interesting chat. So, Ollie, can you say goodbye without talking over me this time?
Goodbye. Nice try.
All right, we'll be back soon with another topic that we'll think up on the fly, and look forward to chatting to you, Ollie, as always.
Goodbye.
You're supposed to respond to that and say likewise or something nice about me.
Well, no, because you didn't say anything. You said Ollie as always.
No, I look forward to chatting to you, Ollie, as always.
Oh, there was a pause. There was a millennial pause. I didn't notice.
Come on, say something.
I'm happy. I'm happy to be here. It makes a nice change for me.
See you later, everyone.